Greetings, Motorcycle.com readers. This is Pete coming to you direct from the press introduction of the 2008 Kawasaki Concours 14. Let's take a look. Okay, well, as many of you are probably suspecting, because it's a 14, that this is maybe a ZX14 with hard bags. Not quite the case with this bike, but at its heart is a ZX14 derived motor. Tucked in all this nice plastic bodywork is the same 1352cc torque-alicious, bone-crushing monster of a motor that the ZX14 had, but it's a little bit different. It's been retuned for more low to mid-range power. Probably the biggest technological advance that this motor rather comes with is variable valve timing. More sport than touring. Okay, moving beyond the beast of a motor, let's talk a little bit about the suspension. It has inverted front forks that are adjustable for preload, compression, all the typical things that you'd expect in a sport touring motorcycle with adjustable suspension. Rear suspension also performs really well. Okay, working our way away from the suspension into the brakes. It probably looks familiar. You can see it's got wave rotors front and rear. Looks like a typical high-quality caliper setup. But in fact, this bike, although it's an option, does come with ABS. A bike like this, its size, the power that it has, necessitates high-quality braking, and that it does have. The ABS, I gotta say, it's probably about the only area in the bike that I could really nitpick. It's a new system from Mitsubishi for Kawasaki. It's new to Kawasaki in terms of this ABS system. It's a little unique in that when the ABS activates, it doesn't completely remove the pad from the rotor, according to Kawasaki staff. Okay, here is one of the really neat features, I guess I would call it. This is what Kawasaki is calling the key pass system. In essence, it's a key that you can leave in the ignition, and it even has its own ECU system, separate from the bike's ECU. And it operates in conjunction with a key fob, an electronic key fob, a lot like many current car systems have, where if the key fob is far from the vehicle, the ignition won't operate correctly. So let's just pop open this other neat little feature, which is on top of the gas tank glove box. Pull out the key fob. Even if somebody decides to pick the entire bike up and load it in the back of a truck, if they don't have this fob, they're never going to get the bike started. There's one more neat feature. Your spare key is hidden inside the key fob. So what makes a sport touring motorcycle touring? Well, in this case, an electrically adjustable windscreen. In this case, it's stepless, meaning that it moves in one fluid motion to wherever you want it to stop. That's position all the way up. Of course, that's all the way down. As an option or an accessory, a larger windscreen that you can purchase. Okay, probably the next most obvious touring item on a sport touring bike, standard hard saddlebags. You can see they're nicely matched to the paint scheme. They've even integrated some ribbing here that goes with the rest of the theme of the bike. Bottom line is they look good, they fit good, they don't move around a lot when you ride the bike. They don't seem to get in the way, at least for the rider. Okay, getting back to some more of the mechanical aspects of this new sport touring wonder from Kawasaki is the new shaft drive system they have. It's called the Tetra system. Long story short is, my not so humble opinion, it is the best shaft drive on the market today. It's like driving a chain-driven motorcycle. There is no shaft jack whatsoever. Try as I might, and I've owned a lot of shaft drive bikes in my day, I just couldn't get the bike to act like a normal shaft drive, and that is a good thing. It's a really, really good system. I'm highly impressed with this. There's a lot of other bikes out here that have something to look up to. These tall upright bars provide a lot of leverage for steering, and they make a really comfortable seating position. Speaking of seating, this has got to be one of the nicest seats I've ever ridden on. Two different foam densities for the passenger and the rider. Rear portion of the seat, a little bit softer, make it easier on your passenger. A little bit firmer up here for the rider. You really can't tell, but this little louver system here is not quite as integrated with the bodywork as it may appear. You can actually remove this primarily, I guess, in the winter. What this does is deflects a lot of the engine heat away from the rider. In the winter, when it cools off, apparently you take it off, more heat comes your way. I guess lane splitting won't be a problem. Kawasaki's probably set the bar pretty high for those motorcycles calling themselves sport touring motorcycles. Again, great motorcycle. There's few things for me to complain about it. They've done really well with this bike. I think a lot of people are going to be happy with it, and it comes in with ABS for under $14,000. Here it is, the 2008 Kawasaki Concours 14.